same weekend, so an influx of people. They'll be traveling in. They'll be pulling off, trying to get good deals and make sure that they can find what they want at the yard sale, maybe while heading to the Brass Band Festival as well. And this is always a fun event for those looking for great deals. The yard sale. I always go out, see if I can find me some baseball or basketball cards or football cards. That's what I'm always out looking for. Tara, introduce yourself to our listeners. Tell us who you are, how you got here, and what do you do with the yard sale?
So I am Tara Hall. I'm the director of the 400-mile sale. Although the 400-mile sale is in its 18th year, I've just been at this about 3 short months.
Okay.
But absolutely loving being a part of this. When I heard that it was available, a friend of mine called and said, Tara, you're between projects right now. Have you thought about this? Now, I have 6 children at home. Actually, one just moved to California, so I'm she got married and has left us, flown the coop, so to speak. But so I have 6 children. I homeschool 4 of those kids. My husband and I are both pastors, but I love being involved in some kind of community project. And because of COVID, I hadn't had anything in a while, and so I sat down and I started to pray and go, is this the thing I need to be doing right now? And I look back on my life, and I'm one of those people. My mom moved around a lot because we're a pastor's family. We move around a lot, and I've always kind of struggled to have a hometown. But as I thought about Highway 68, it began to occur to me that I went to elementary school in McCracken County in Paducah. Well, that's on Highway 68. And I went to high school in Todd County, Elkton. That's Highway 68. And community college in Hopkinsville, which is on Highway 68. And then when I transferred to Murray State, we traveled on Highway 68 over land between the lakes all the time. I met and married my husband, who graduated from Western Kentucky in Bowling Green on Highway 68. We had pastorates in Glasgow and in Metcalfe County and in Campbellsville, all on Highway 68.
Wow.
Went to seminary in Wilmore on Highway 68, where I was the president of the Wilmore Business Association. And then we moved to the Palisades in Mercer County on Highway 68. And then, you're never going to believe it, my last child, little sweet Martha, she's now 2.5, was born on Highway 68, right at the Brooklyn Bridge in northern Mercer County.
So you say you didn't feel like you had a hometown, but your hometown is just Highway 68.
My hometown
your home is Highway 68.
Is Highway 68, and I'd never realized it before.
And so it makes perfect sense then.
It does, and it gives me a great opportunity to give back to all those communities that loved and nurtured me and helped me raise children and were just important parts of my life, and share with the world, really, the great places we have, the wonderful restaurants. Every town has a dairy barn and a burger joint, a great place to get breakfast. We have some wonderful hospitality in our hotels and our campgrounds and our B&Bs, and people love to make a whole trip of this. And so I say it was a marriage made in heaven. And so I love serving in this capacity.
And of course, we have Highway 68 running right through here in Boyle County and the Perryville area, which is a big part of that. And we love the Perryville area.
It is. Main Street Perryville is sponsoring the sale this year for the first time, maybe ever. I don't know if they have in the past. Each town that the sale runs through, each county, an agency usually helps sponsor so that I can take those funds and do publicity and afford to travel and do interviews and things like this. And so we're so appreciative of Main Street Perryville. And I have to admit, Perryville has always been a town I've driven through. I think I've stopped there a few times for gas, but I've never had the opportunity to just go explore Perryville. And so I'm really excited to help promote the town. There are so many new things, that new coffee shop, a Salted Honey
Cafe.
Salted Honey Cafe. They've got their antique store, they've got that beautiful Merchants Row with so many, I call those curiosity shops.
Yes.
Because there's so many different things that you can go and see. And they've done all that work to the bridge and the walkways. And so we really, in my heart and mind, Perryville is one of the towns that I want to highlight through this sale.
Yes.
Because literally thousands, maybe tens of thousands, if we get the traffic going the right way, will come through.
Yeah.
And that's one reason we need to be here on local radio to remind folks, if you're along the route, set up a sale.
Okay.
400mile.com. It is free to go and register. We'd love to see more churches and organizations get involved in that as well, to set up multi-sites and take advantage of all those feet that are going to come through.
Yeah, so for someone who lives on Highway 68 and they want to have a yard sale, and someone in the Perryville area maybe, or even outside of the Perryville area listening to us, Gravel Switch area or something like that, for those living there, do they have to register, or just kind of give them extra incentive?
Anybody in the world can sign up, but when we spend a lot of time and money developing our new website, and so it has a great map, and when you register, your point goes on the map.
Okay.
We also have searched the sales, so if you are someone that's just going to go to one county or maybe two counties, you can go to a page for that county and see all the sales listed for that county. You can click at the bottom and find the restaurants that are nearby that we recommend. You mentioned Gravel Switch, and we are really excited that the Gravel Switch Station, is that what it's called? Gravel Switch Station, the restaurant there inside Gravel Switch is going to have a large vendor lot behind them.
Great.
And they may still be looking for folks to set up. So if you're not on the route and you want a great place, because folks can go inside, place their order, walk around and shop, and then get their food, it's really going to be a nice kind of hub.
Yeah.
For them and for the sale.
Great for everybody involved, right? I mean, it's great for Perryville because, hopefully, as you said, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of people who make their way through Perryville. Great economic boom for the city, but also for those people who just have stuff that they have to get rid of, and they're just tired of the stuff, and it's crazy. Me and my wife have had yard sales before, and I'm thinking, nobody wants this stuff, Rebecca.
Everybody wants something.
And what happens? Lo and behold, the stuff I don't think people want, it's the first thing to go.
Well, and that's one of the reasons we designed 400mile.com the way we did, so people can list the categories that they have. So, for example, there is nothing, and you've probably experienced this if you've had a lot of sales, worse than getting everything out, tagging all your items, getting your signs, doing the whole 9 yards. You've put a lot of work and energy in it. And when people come out and they open their car door and they stand and they look to the left and they look to the right, and then they get back in their car, close the door, and drive away.
Yeah.
So we have worked hard to have categories this year so that you can, hopefully, our nerds are working on it. I got a whole team of nerds. We're trying desperately before the sale to get where you can search the sales just by a particular item.
Okay.
So you can plot your course. If you're an antique dealer,
if you're
looking for antiques.
One thing I've noticed, we have 2 kids, so we got a lot of children's toys.
Yes.
Someone who's looking for antiques isn't looking for children's toys.
They are not.
And
they're
someone looking for children's toys is not looking for antiques.
And they're looking for clothes right now. Mm-hmm. I mean, we're hitting some kind of tough economic times. And I say this is the only trip you can make in Kentucky that will actually save you money if you do it right.
Yes.
And so we just see that as a great way to serve as well. So we are continuing to improve our website. There'll be, like I said, I've just been at this a couple of months. So next year there'll be even more improvements to help make it accessible.
How many sales do you think, if you could even give it a number, will happen on the entire 400-mile route?
So right now we have about 300 sales registered.
That's just the ones registered.
And that's just the ones registered because this is a new idea of getting on this map. So I would multiply that by 3. I'd say there's at least 900, maybe 1,000. And then if you take into consideration these places like up in Wilmore in Jessamine County, the old Ichthus Farm, a lot of people remember the music festival. They have a multi-site where they have potential to have, if she could get enough bookings, she could have 100 sites up there or 200. Yeah. They could fill the whole farm. Yeah. But they usually have about 30 to 40, sometimes pushing 50. So there's those places that I'm not counting in that number.
Yeah.
So when you have those multi-sites, as far as actual sellers, you're running into 1,000, 1,100 or more. And people turn up for that. We get folks from Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee on a regular basis. In fact, we're trying to expand our advertising market down there so more folks can go. We get tour buses from Florida. Folks in Ohio and Illinois, especially because they can just come right down and swoop the route. We have Michigan and Wisconsin, California, Pennsylvania. These are all regular folks that come.
Wow.
And And so COVID has messed things a little up, and I don't know if they'll come back this year, but for at least the first 15 or 16 years, we had a couple come from Japan every year.